My boyfriend stopped doing his hobbies when we moved in together. My boyfriend, 25M, and I, 23F, have been together for 5 years and moved in together a few months ago, and we're struggling with something that I don't fully understand anymore. I want to emphasize that he didn't really have this issue before we lived together. He had a lot of his own hobbies and interests. He loves gaming, film photography, and traveling, usually with his family. We have many interests in common, so we agreed these are things we'd like to do together. I also have my own hobbies. Since moving in together, he doesn't do his own hobbies, and he doesn't plan for us to do things together. The confusing part is that he does want to do these things. He just doesn't start them. Most of the time, I'm the one suggesting activities, planning things, or even telling him, "Why don't you game or go take photos today?" And then he'll do it. But I have to prompt him. It feels like he needs permission to engage in his own life. Travel is another example. I told him that if he wants to travel, I'm happy to go with him and help plan, especially since he's very well traveled and I'm not. He listed places he'd like for us to go together, and I assumed he'd take the lead on making that happen, but nothing happens. We've talked about this a lot. He told me that sometimes he talks himself out of doing his own hobbies because he's afraid of leaving me alone and thinks I'll be lonely. I've been very clear that I genuinely enjoy my alone time and am perfectly happy doing my own thing. Even after reassuring him, he still struggles to initiate. His fear of me being lonely also doesn't explain why he won't just take the lead on things he wants us to do together. I don't mind making plans for us, but it's annoying to be the designated planner for things that he has more experience with. What's frustrating is that we keep having the same conversation over and over. We'll agree that he'll start taking the lead on things he wants to do, either solo or together, and then it just doesn't happen. Rinse and repeat. Before living together, when he lived with his parents, he was never home because he'd be out doing his own thing. I want him to feel like he can do that now because he can, and I don't mind tagging along if he wants me to, something he's expressed before. I'm starting to slowly lose my mind. I don't want to be the manager of both of our lives, and I don't want to keep having the same unproductive conversation forever. Why might someone struggle this much to initiate their own wants, even with reassurance? I could not be more supportive of him and his interests, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. How do I approach this without becoming the default decision maker or feeling resentful? I would love any outside perspective. Too long did not read. My boyfriend won't start his own hobbies or make plans unless I suggest them, even though he wants to do them. He says he's worried about me being lonely. We've talked about it repeatedly and nothing changes, and I don't want to manage both our lives. It sounds like he's depressed, to be honest. If you are the only one rowing the boat, jump off and swim. You will be less exhausted. 7 years, no ring. Don't know if I should wait. I am 29F and boyfriend is 31M. We have been together for 7 years last November. At year 4 I was put under the impression that he was going to propose. He literally told me that he would propose within the year. He did not, but I figured he would do it within the next. Nothing. Logically, after 6 years we discussed moving in together, and I mentioned how it would be a great step, but with our religious/traditional families, I only wanted to move in together if we were engaged during the first year. He seemed aligned with the timeline, and we moved in together. We are reaching our year mark living together, no proposal. I have recently been considering moving in with my sister or on my own, but I do not want to break up. I also don't want to make me leaving seem like an ultimatum or threat. There are many issues holding us, specifically him, back. He is constantly having money problems from unforeseen events, can never save, and for the past couple of months I have been footing most if not all of the bills and groceries with the understanding that he needed to get back on his feet. This year's misfortune was that he had to buy a car, and with his poor credit his payments are sky high. He recently got a new job that pays more. In one of our recent conversations about my frustration of not being married, he confessed that he had a ring picked out, but what was holding him back was affording it. He got the new job in December in hopes to afford payments for this ring and the car. The thing is, my self-esteem is crumbled, and I don't know whether I can believe him or not after such disappointment. I genuinely think he is the love of my life, but I am fading away. What would you do if you were in this situation? It feels like no one's fault. TL, Dr. boyfriend of 7 years hasn't proposed even though he said he was planning on it, and we had an understanding to be engaged within a year of living together, but life has crushed his finances, and he cannot afford the ring he has picked out for me, and I want to move out more as a promise to myself, but think it might seem like an ultimatum or threat to leave. Edit. I feel that I may have painted him in a horrible deadbeat manner and want to sort of correct the record because I genuinely want solid answers. We both do chores around the house, but he also takes on trash, laundry, and dog walk duty. He makes me lunches on my in-office days and drives me to and from work. He surprises me with flowers and treats and always makes the effort to show up to all family events. I just want to make sure this is understood so that the financial aspect isn't the only thing people think about, and also explain why I would stay with him so long. Also, to be clear, he has paid his half of rent. I have just been footing utilities and groceries for the past couple of months. Your answer was in year 4. You might be able to force him into a shut-up ring, but if you want a man who is passionate and wants to marry you, this ain't your guy. Why on earth would you marry someone you're this confused about? I would stay rare to find good me. He could just be going through a rough patch. Shut up. My boyfriend, 31 male, has a habit of telling me, 32 female, to shut up. We've been together for 7 years. It's not even for serious deep arguments. It'll just be in minor disputes where he tells me shut up. I have told him numerous times how it's low-key triggering for me. I don't like it, it's disrespectful, and there are better ways to have his point come across. I've never told anyone to shut up. If anything, my go-to is, can you stop? I've realized I've never felt the need to say shut up, nor do I like or tolerate it anymore. In fact, I shut down. I feel like shit. When I tell him this, he says, I'm sorry, but you talk to me like I'm an idiot. Again, there's better ways getting a point across than always yelling shut up. I feel like I'm partially being gaslight because he tells me if I didn't start something, he wouldn't tell me to shut up. How else can I explain my feelings in this, or make him stop? How do you get it through to your partner? Or is saying shut up just normal? Too long did not read. How do I get my boyfriend to stop yelling shut up to me? Why do you tolerate this? If after 7 years he speaks to you this way, why would you think anything you say will matter? I once had a couples therapist tell me and my partner that you can change your attitude or change your situation, but you shouldn't rely on being able to change your partner. The second time someone said something like that to me, they can fuck all the way off. I don't deserve that. I, 27F, wanted to spend last night with my boyfriend, 34M, after an overwhelming day at work, but he wanted the night to himself. What do I do in these situations? I, 27F, had an overwhelming day at work, and I wanted to spend the night with my boyfriend, 34M, afterwards. We have been with each other for just over a year now, and we love each other very much. Things between us are fantastic. He said that he needed the night to himself to rest, because he also had a tough day, and had to work the next day. He had to work last Saturday, and only got Sunday off before working this Saturday again, so I definitely understand how tired he must be. So the situation is that I wanted to spend time with him because of a tiring day and week, but he wanted time to himself for the same reason. So I didn't spend time with him, and he rested. I'm not upset with him, just bummed out because I would have liked to spend time with him to make myself feel better. I'm not asking who is right or wrong. I don't think anyone is wrong. I'm just wondering what your opinions and advice are on this. How do we navigate when we have conflicting needs? Too long did not read. I wanted to spend time with my boyfriend after an overwhelming day to help feel better, but my boyfriend wanted the night to himself to rest because of an overwhelming day. Any advice on how to navigate these two conflicting needs? If he wasn't in your life, how would you comfort yourself after a long day? You need to figure out how to self-regulate when he can't be there. What were you looking for from him? Warmth, tea, hugs, warm blanket, company, phone a friend or family. Find a way to get what you need from him from somewhere else. Gotta have a backup plan. Your boyfriend can't be the only thing that makes you feel better.